Welcome to another episode of the Contagious Culture Podcast. I'm your host, Kyle King, and the goal of this podcast is simple: to help you create environments where people thrive. Through real conversations, practical strategies, and powerful stories, we equip leaders, educators, and change makers just like yourself to build cultures rooted in purpose, performance, and authenticity. Because culture isn't something you talk about, it's something you live. This is the Contagious Culture Podcast. Let's get started. Welcome back to another episode of the Contagious Culture Podcast. I'm your host, Kyle King. And the goal of this podcast is to help you create an ecosystem and an environment where people can thrive. Hey, if you're new here, we want you to do one thing. We want you to subscribe. Well, maybe not one thing. We want you to do a few things. We want you to subscribe. We want you to like this episode. And if there's something that's said in this episode, we want you to share it with someone. But if there's something that really resonates with you, good or bad, we want you to go to the bubble below and we want you to write a review. Because the only way that we can spread contagious culture is if we actually spread contagious culture. If you're new here and you don't understand who we are, what we do, and what is in store for the future, then we're going to spend the next 15, 20 minutes talking about some major things that are happening. We have the Contagious Culture Conference that will be featured in Charlotte, North Carolina this year. We have inserted a new partner, a new thought maker, thought shaper, thought leader, my brother, Dr. Daniel Freeman. And we are getting ready to do some amazing things. And we want to be able to talk to you about that. So, Dan, how you doing, man?
It's good. I'm ready to go. It's a snowy day out here, Kyle. Like, let's do it.
Let's do it. So, Dan, we have some things happening.
We do.
And a lot of episodes we come on here and we talk, we teach, we give, but there's not many episodes where we're able to just have a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
We have some exciting projects coming down the pipeline. Obviously, the Contagious Culture Conference is the major project coming down the pipeline. And in a few sentences, how would you even describe, like, what are we doing? Like, how would we describe what we're doing with the conference?
Kyle, I think it's really important to talk about, like you said, why we're doing it and what's the reasoning, right? So we're doing this because there are a lot of conferences out there that are very specialized, right? From AHP to CASE to AFP to smaller conferences to companies that have conferences. And the thing that I've continued to find is that all these conferences, we're the smaller nonprofits. We're the nonprofits that are operating with under $1 million in revenue. Can they come to it? We'll see the ones with over $1 million, but do they fit into those specialties? Right at those conferences we see all the time. So we're building this conference because we want a place for these smaller nonprofits to be able to come and find value. We want to create accessible opportunity for them to grow and learn in a space that's meant for them. That's why we're creating 2 different tracks, right? For nonprofits that have under $1 million in revenue and nonprofits that have over $1 million in revenue. We're providing them different resources to really fit their needs. So I think that's the first thing. We're building this because we want to do something different. We want to fill a void, fill a need for these nonprofits, and not in a conference that's 3, 4, 5,000 people, right? There are conferences like that, but then you're just a number. You just get lost.
I think that there's a lot of events that I've been to, especially education, especially nonprofit, that are frankly just boring. It's very whitewashed, old guard strategy. And like you mentioned, there's thousands of people in this room, potentially motivated, potentially energized for a moment. But 6 months after the conference, they're still in the same exact place as an organization. They still have a board that's not contributing to the growth of their pipeline. They still have personnel or processes that aren't leading towards efforts that can scale the organization forward. The executive directors or people that say they're executive directors and CEOs of organizations aren't leading with executive presence or don't have the tools, the strategies, and the accountability for them to be able to grow. And the volunteer pipeline is drying up. And frankly, when this happens, they're just going out there and showing up for donation day or give Tuesday and all of these different things. But it's the same thing. It's the same hamster wheel that a lot of nonprofit organizations are going after. And I find that we can learn a lot of things from industry,
Mhm.
how they're so innovative, how
Yeah.
the decision-making process is shorter, how the line to even make decisions is a lot shorter, how innovation is the gateway and the engine to being able to scale their companies, how diversity is a power play or a power piece to be able to really create amazing ideas that are cutting edge, that are creating change in communities across the board, how to keep costs low, how to integrate AI and systems within their business models, how to even have a business model. And just because we're nonprofits based upon tax codes doesn't mean we can't still run a business and have earned revenue opportunities, have programming, have these various things that give us the ability to be able to grow something.
Yeah, Kyle, people are definitely going to be listening to this. Whenever I speak, I think about the Christmas episode of SNL when they're talking about these candies because I come in and I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah. So I digress. But I think what people are probably wondering is, why are you guys putting on a conference? Well, what experience do you have putting on events? Have you been a part of large conferences? We know that you've been involved and spearheaded Blueprint and previously geared towards education. And I think what's really important here is through the Culture Lab, specifically within that,
Mhm.
the Growth Lab and the Growth Alliance, we are seeing firsthand the playbook, I'll call it, that you've created and I've come into and that we are working on with these nonprofits. Can nonprofits tell me they've been to a conference and they leave and they can spit out exactly what their brand is, their elevator pitch with depth, with numbers, just like one of our members, Verna, shout out to her, what she
Yeah.
did recently, and how compelling that was. Can they do that? Do they do that at conferences? No, that doesn't happen, right? And that's one of those things. We're taking this playbook and we're bringing it in for actual actionable ways that we can provide value to these nonprofits. And I just want to give a shout out to one of the things that we talked about that I think is so special about this conference. I'm going to give two things. One of them is the lab, right?
Yeah,
We want to have that lab component. We want people to be able
exactly.
to leave that room and go work on the stuff and
Yeah,
have someone guide them and teach them.
exactly.
Like you're not writing down, scribbling down your notes like, oh, this is how I would do it. This is what it should look like. No, no, no. You're going to the lab and someone's going to help you,
Yeah.
right? They're going to help you do that. And I think the second thing, which you and I definitely got hype about recently, is the consultant corner. I'll call it, right. I don't think we
Yes.
necessarily have a name yet, but and I'll throw out the quick example. I was meeting with someone yesterday who's a CFO, and they have a company, fractional CFOs, and that's not the name of the company. That's just what they do. And I was talking to him about this conference, and I was just thinking, as you said, just because you're a nonprofit does not mean you should not be running the back end like a business. You
Mm,
100% should be doing that. And when
exactly.
I was sitting with him, I was like, imagine if you had a consultants corner and we had all these different consultants that were sponsors of this conference, where nonprofit people, nonprofit attendees could schedule time to meet with you for 30 minutes. Maybe it's a little longer, who knows? 30 minutes. They bring things with them and you consult them and give them insight for 30
Exactly.
minutes. Do you get that at another conference? Is that not going to directly impact the work you're doing, the decisions you're making, and the clarity that you could have? Who,
Exactly.
who else is doing that? Like, to me, that is one of the most exciting things on a small scale. Among all
Exactly.
the things that we are doing, one of the most exciting things to think about. Just that one little piece.
I was watching this movie. This was a little while ago. I'm sure you've seen the same movie, The Founder.
Yeah.
And then for anybody that hasn't seen the movie or who is familiar with the movie, it's the story of essentially how McDonald's was originated and how McDonald's grew and it was scaled, and essentially how Ray Kroc came in and stole the idea of McDonald's.
Yeah.
But there was a specific scene that really captures what contagious culture is for me,
Mhm.
where he was driving in his car and he continued to see churches and churches and churches and churches. And then the next scene, he goes to the founders of McDonald's. Can't remember their name, but I do remember Ray Kroc. And he says, the arches, the arches. And he said, we want to be able to have these arches. It's like church. People are going to identify McDonald's like they identify church. And why I make this connection here is the beautiful thing, no matter what you believe, the beautiful thing about religious gatherings is that oftentimes you come empty, you come ready to receive, and you come humble and you trust the people that are going to be there communicating something that you can take, you can apply, and you could identify how this thing that you're learning can be able to be utilized in your life. When you look at the Contagious Culture Conference, anybody that's on the fence about coming, anybody that's seen an advertisement, a logo, a post, we want you to prepare to receive. We want you to be able to come in the room completely humble. We want you to come into the room completely empty and ready to be able to learn four major things. Four major things. And this would be, if we could give you like some takeaways, this is what it would be. Number one, we want to ensure that your systems, your internal frameworks, and your team and your board and you, as that leader, whether you are an executive leader or a team leader or just a contributor, is prepared. The preparation is incredibly important before it gives us the ability to scale. Number two is that you're able to successfully and authentically prove why you do what you do and why it's important for a donor, for a funder, for a volunteer, for a human being to engage with your organization on a grassroots level or continue to engage on a major gifting level. And then once you begin to prove yourself, because social proof is critical for us to be able to drive success. Number three is that we're going to teach you how to find partners. I'm talking corporate partners, I'm talking funders, I'm talking partners and collaborators that will also be in the room that you'll be able to network and collaborate with. Some of the private experiences that we're having, some of the off brand experiences that we're having. You're going to be able to understand how to build quality, vision, and mission aligned partners that contribute to the success and growth and scalability of your organization, which then allows us, and this is something that I feel like Dan does so well, is it allows your organization, number four, to propel. We're going to help you take those already existing relationships, already existing people on your mailing list, already existing people that have potentially given, whether it was $1, $100, $1,000, well, whether it was volunteering 1 minute, 1 hour, or 10 hours. We're going to teach you how to take those people and how to turn their engagement up to the point where it's leading to a sustainability plan that 3 years from now, you're still utilizing the same models that you learned at the Contagious Culture Conference. So we want to help you get prepared. We want to be able to help you prove. We want to help you partner, and we want to help you propel, but you have to be willing to come ready to receive. You have to be able to come to these rooms, these breakout rooms, these culture labs, these consultant corners. You have to be ready to come, not with your knowledge, but with your questions and your willingness to be able to drive change forward.
Kyle, it's like I've been saying lately, I keep telling people, and this is so important to the success that I found and what I continue to try to build on and grow from, because we can always get better at what we're doing. And that is, you need to be listening for the other person's answer, not thinking of your next question. And when you come, as you said, I think being open to receiving all this information, I think is great. I think that's such an easy way to phrase this conference, right? We want people coming and ready to receive and understand and engage and be ready to get excited, right? That's something we want too. You said that earlier, right? We you're full of energy, and I am selectively full of energy. and and we work so well with each other. And what we're really trying to do with getting excitement is we're going to have some big people there,
Mhm.
right? Our I'm not going to say who, but we're really working on some
Yeah.
well-known people that can disrupt things and share insight from a high level and from a lower detailed level. But I think what we also want to do, and this is something special to us, is we want to have people like when you go to these conferences, right? You'll have these larger people, then you'll have people who are, maybe like a rung below them. They may not be doing the actual work anymore, this, that, and the other. We want to have people, and I'm going to call some of them local too, that are doing that work right now. People who maybe haven't had the chance to talk about what they've built and what they've done. But in our circles, we know that person just needs a platform. That
That's it.
person has got it. That person knows. And that ties into that. We want these nonprofits under $1 million to come and get that value and learn, right? And I
Right.
think a lot of that value comes from giving and creating opportunity to these innovators, right? Who we know that just haven't gotten that opportunity yet, but are just going to blow everyone away with the experience that they have. And I think that goes hand in hand. But that's something really exciting when I think about this is receiving it from new people, receiving it from people you don't know about, people who
Yeah.
have experience you've never even thought of, and how are making these, in the words of David Epstein, making these semantic connections. David Epstein wrote Range, if you know that book. He's
Yeah.
he's incredible. But people making these connections through their semantic network and helping you make those connections too. Because the more connections we make as we're processing things and we're at this conference and around these people, the more it's going to stick.
And I love what you said there because there's somebody right now that's even listening in, or somebody that may be listening in that knows that person right now that just hasn't had an opportunity. You know, the reason that we start this conference and that really start anything is because we believe that by creating a platform for other people to stand on it, that's how you really create impact. I am a speaker that has spoken, fortunately, for over a decade now. And I remember the original reason why why I started my first conference is I would go to these events and go to these conferences, and I would hear all of these speakers that would either put me to sleep, I would leave with a blank page, or I was just uninspired and just underwhelmed. And I started going on, and it motivated me to go on to these sites and apply to be a speaker here and go here and send my one pager out here. And it was crickets, and it was a no. It was a thank you, but no, and thank you, but no. It was like applying to jobs and not hearing back, or applying to jobs and getting that same, oh, we went with another candidate. And the reality of it is that I knew that I was good enough. I knew that by just building a table for other people to eat, that would be more impactful than just those people hearing my voice. So we're not doing this to just showcase our voices and showcase how great we are. No, we wanted to be able to build a platform because there are people out here that are doing great work, that have powerful stories, that have amazing cutting edge ideas, that just haven't had someone ask them to speak. Because we're hearing from these same people doing the same things that are holding up all of the space online or in these spaces. And we're not wanting to diversify the room and hear from the new cutting edge talent and integrations and systems and all of these different things that are out there. So we're creating a space and bringing all the cool kids to Charlotte, North Carolina on October 15th and 16th. We're creating a space where we're going to teach you how to spread contagious culture, yes, within your organization, but how to do it and make a lot of money and be able to scale your organization. We're creating a space where you can network with the actual person and company that can solve your issues. You may have a process issue. We're going to bring the company to be able to help you that you can talk to. You may have a systems issue. You may not understand how to integrate AI in this in this new transformative or transformation or technological revolution that's happening, we're going to bring the company there to be able to help you. You may not have an understanding on how to build a donor pipeline or workflows. We're going to bring a company there to help you. You may need a strategy or someone to really work through and be your thought partner. We're going to bring an expert there to be able to talk to you. So as we talk and work with nonprofit organizations around the country every single day, we're hearing the challenges, we're hearing the problems, and we're listening. So we're creating a space, we're creating a table, we're creating a stage so that you, my friend, can get all of the things that you need.
And Kyle, I think I want to, unless you have anything else to say, I think I've got the ending here too for this podcast. Kyle, let them eat, right? We were both track athletes, right? When you're running around that circle and your teammate is at that 300 mark and everyone is screaming at them to eat, right? Let them eat, get to the end of that race, right? That's what we're trying to do at this conference. And, I want to say, you got to practice what you preach, right? For years, I've been trying to take my experience and be able to talk to others. And I created my small networking group for next gen fundraisers and these different things. And I had just kept trying to get the good word out that I have been working on for years. And it was you that did that for me, right? You found me. And I remember when you sent me those first questions, I was like, this is the opportunity. This is it. I can finally get out everything I've been working on, all of the mindset pieces, all of the knowledge, everything from my doctorate to the last decade plus, from athletics to academics to healthcare, academics, and all that stuff. So you practice what you preach because you brought me on and I was able to share that. And it was kind of just like, you just need that opportunity, right? And whether it's speaking, whether it's coming to a conference where you can find that value, whether locally, nationally, this is going to be a national nonprofit conference, right? Local for us, but national for other people. You're practicing what you preach. We want to let them eat. We want people to come. We want to create connections. We want them to network, and we're going to make it happen.
Let's make it happen, brother. One thing that we want you to do right now. Yes, we want you to subscribe, and review the episode. Yes. But the more important thing that we want you to do is we want you to go to spreadcontagiousculture.com. 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 And don't just go to a website and not engage. We want you to actually be the person on a daily basis, whether you're coming to the conference or not. We want you to go spread some contagious culture. And the truth of the matter is that you can't expect confident results in your organization with a confused mind. So come get some clarity. Come get some clarity at the Contagious Culture Conference happening October 15th and 16th, 2026, right here in Charlotte, North Carolina. We are so thankful of everybody tapping in, listening in. And one of the questions that we always ask on the Contagious Culture podcast for all of our guests is, how are you spreading contagious culture today? The energy you bring is the culture you create. My name is Kyle King, the host of the Contagious Culture Podcast. This is Dr. Daniel Freeman, the co-host of the Contagious Culture Podcast, and we are so excited to see you guys next episode. Thanks for tuning in to the Contagious Culture Podcast. If this episode challenged or inspired you, hey, take a second to share it with someone who's building culture in their world. Make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a review. It helps more leaders, educators, and change makers just like yourself join the movement. You can connect with me on LinkedIn or YouTube at Kyle S. King for more tips, tools, and methodologies to be able to help you create this ecosystem of absolute excellence. Until next time, lead boldly, live intentionally, and remember, your culture is contagious. Make it worth catching.